And we're live. All right. Great. A little bit after 5 o'clock here, Central Standard Time on the 7th of March. Can't believe it's already March, the 7th of March already. And what's going on? We've got another discussion on fat. Yesterday I did Mr. Fatty McFatty, fat, fat, fat. That's where it's at. And we'll continue today because I've really been just diving into it. Great thing about being retired is I get plenty of time to go and check out the end of the internet. Not that the internet's coming to an end, but I can get to it. You know what I'm saying. And I was watching a video. Hello and welcome. I was watching a video with Dr. Ben Bikman, and this guy he is on the top of the mountain academically on all things fat. And I don't know if you have ever had a chance to listen to Ben Bikman and his presentations and the videos he does. He's all over the space. He's a PhD guy, and he runs a lab at BYU. He's an instructor there, and he is truly one of the gifted people out there in the whole space. And he knows a lot about everything about lipids and about fat. And so I was watching his one of his more recent videos. I want to say it was one of them posted in the past couple of days. Let me put my glasses back on, but it was posted 10 days ago. Has about 60,000 views and 2.8 thousand likes. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on the screen. I'm going to present it, and we're going to go here. Yep, we're going to share a screen. We're going to fat, why it matters, share, and there I am. I'm still here, and this is still there. Let me embiggen it. There we go. And Dr. Bikman is up here in the corner. You can see him up here. And let's see, what are we at right here? We're roughly at the 35-minute mark, so I'm going to go back on it here for you. But he was speaking, and I think Dr. Dom D'Agostino, he's another legend out of UCF and one of the schools up in Ohio. And again, this whole thing about shrinking. Oh, look at that commercial too. That's okay. We'll get rid of that real film. We're done. We're going to do that. So Ben Bikman, PhD, professor, Department of Cell Biology, Brigham Young University. And he's talking about this whole thing. And now it's about turning on its head this aspect we've had of considering the model, right? Because a lot of people think if you're a carnivore, you're a super high protein advocate, and that's not the case. Actually, it's a moderate protein, and it's a negligible carbohydrate, and it's also really much higher in fat. But I think all that gets lost in the translation of what everybody's doing. So I look to people like Dr. Bikman. He's pretty agnostic about a lot of stuff. He doesn't get caught in the debates, I don't think, about, oh, should you do this, should you do that? Yeah, he's really good at his presentation method, and he's super smart. He goes further on and he starts talking about insulin resistance, fat cells. Half of all adults are overweight, and over half of all adults have insulin resistance. Isn't that amazing? Hello and welcome. So we've got this wonderful slideshow that Dr. Bikman goes through, and he talks about, if you don't have the knowledge, he talks about the two ways fat cells grow through hypertrophy or hyperplasia. So hypertrophy meaning it gets bigger and bigger, or it makes more and more. And the unique challenges with each of those methodologies. And again, that's because your fat cells are going to grow when there's abundance of energy. Anyhow, he talks and gives great stuff. He says hypertrophic fat cells run out of room. They get so full, they start leaking out extra. They just say, I'm not taking anymore. And they start leaking out, no vacancy. And they become resistant to the insulin to prevent further growth. One of the other problems he says about this growing hypertrophic cell is I didn't know this before, so here's a little factoid. We all can now go into our next conversation with other people and say, hey, that's what I learned. That a fat cell, or all cells, have to be within 50 nanometers. They have to be within 50 nanometers of blood flow. And so if you put a whole bunch of balloons and you start blowing them up, you're going to push them away from the blood supply. Problem there is it'll die. So the fat cell has some tricks, and it puts out cytokines. We all know about that from the virus that will not be named, the global virus. And the cytokines, they actually create a situation because of the inflammation of growing new capillaries. So capillaries have to get there. And that's where all the action happens, is at the capillaries. And that's how they get better blood flow. And so now that's adding to our problems as well. Then you talk about personal fat thresholds and how you're sensitive, or you're insulin sensitive, or you're not, right? And what if we could force fat to store more fat, right? Well, that becomes a problem. So it goes into some really great detail, talks about how it's physiologically different in South Asia, and the Caucasians and African Americans and Native Indians. All of them, everybody has a slightly different metabolic architecture. So as you go through, we get some really great information, and he talks about this idea about when there's sufficient energy, there's going to be elevated insulin. So now he starts to get into the nitty gritty of how this insulin and fat work together, right? And he goes through a couple of different scenarios here with triglycerides and glucose and free fatty acids, and how it's all regulated, and how the glucose is all regulated. Well, it's by that insulin. And he talks about that insulin and how what we're really in a battle, what I'm in a battle for, is to lower my insulin. So today I went out and got myself some more of these doggone stick yourself in the finger test strips, right? Got my glucose monitor. I went and got some more of the ketone strips, and trust me when I tell you, I'm making the pass of the ketones for sure. I'll bring this up. I'm going to show you my last. This was my last. There you go. That was my glucose this afternoon at 4:40, and I just eaten a little bit of meat and cheese. 86. So I'm very happy with that. And I'll be tracking that now, because I have the little thing, and I'll be sticking my finger. What would be cool is I have an appointment with my doctor in 2 weeks. And I'm going to go to my doctor and see if she will prescribe one of those continuous glucose monitors. And then I won't have to keep sticking myself and wonder if I'm bleeding or not. Anyway, so I'm going to be really working on this insulin. So I checked in my military. Let's see if I can pull that up. I went ahead and checked on my last blood records and stuff like that. And when I looked, it seemed that I'm going to see if I have the latest. Well, actually, what I do is go to my downloads. Yeah, here it is. And I'll open up, and what I'm going to have to do is make sure no personal information's on there. And I'll show you my latest blood test and blood work here. I have blood. I have my glucose, pH. I had an iron problem here not too long ago, so we were checking that out. And I think we got that under control, because I was given too much selling my plasma. And in selling my plasma, I ended up giving myself an iron problem, because I think I was leaving too much blood at the plasma bank. There we go. All right, let's see what we have here. Let me see if I can share this. I'm going to do it real quickly. Let me go stop there now. Present. share screen, and now we'll go, ooh, it's not gonna let me show a PDF. Window, there we go. Window. There, all right. So there it is. I'm gonna embiggen it, stand by. All right, there it is. I don't think there's anything on there. And so we can see here, for all positive, my insulin on 28 September of 23 was 6.1, which is not bad, right? And we go down a little further. That's my iron stuff. Ferritin was, I'm better. I got better when I started taking some iron pills and stopped. There's my HbA1c, 5.2 in September of last year. So not bad there, right? And there's all my lymphs and all of my blood stuff there, and white blood hemocrits, all that stuff there. And what do we have here? My PSA, real good, 0.42. Man, there's my cholesterol. My cholesterol was 186. That's not bad. My LDL 119, a little higher than I wanted. My HDL is a little bit on the lower side, but that's okay. I'm working on it. I'll get better. Here is a big problem. My vitamin D was only 27. So, that's pretty much a challenge for me there. And I've been working on that and wanting to get myself, get all my markers up into a proper place. But I can only do that when I am, doing this for a good while, because I haven't been doing it right for a while. So we'll go back to Dr. Bickman real quick. We're going to share that. There we go. There's Dr. Bickman. What a guy. What a guy, Dr. Bickman. And we see here he's talking about the insulin going up and down and all around, and energy and the endocrine system theory. And he talked about growing muscle cells in a petri dish. And what he said is all of his students, he can give them a one hour lecture, or he teaches them how to grow muscles in a petri dish, and that will happen quite readily. And that in one day, he's teaching his students how to. What is going on here? Wait a minute, I'm having a technical challenge here. I want to be over here, and I want to change there. There we go. Growing them in a petri dish. But he said growing fat cells. He said you can put a fat cell in that same petri dish, and you can put glucose all around it. You can put proteins and fats, triglycerides, whatever, and that fat cell won't grow, a living fat cell. He said, but as soon as you add insulin, that fat cell in a petri dish will grow. I mean, I don't know how many more ways we need to see this, that insulin is really what we're working towards affecting with our dietary behaviors. He goes to talk about E.P. Jocelyn and F.G. Benedict, who talked a lot about this and the whole insulin and diabetes. It was great information. And he talked about how, when you're a bigger person, you burn more calories. I know that. My TDEE, total daily energy expenditure, is like over 3,000 calories. Why am I not losing weight? Well, because historically, I think my insulin has been elevated, and particularly some gluconeogenesis, because eating meat just by itself, not eating all the fat, and I think I was spiking my insulin. So they talked about the diabulimia. I'd never even heard about it. It's where type 1 diabetics will purposely dose themselves on insulin, because it turns out, and I don't know if you've got friends like this. We've got a friend down the street, right? He can eat anything he wants. We go out to a buffet. We got a couple local buffets we like to go to, and I go because I can get all the meat I want. Well, he goes and he eats, I don't know, 4, 5 trips, fills the plate up, 2, 3, maybe 4 trips to the dessert bar. He doesn't put on almost any weight at all. I figure after listening to Dr. Bickman and reading what I'm reading, this gentleman has a pancreas that is reluctant to make any insulin. Not to say he doesn't make any, but it's reluctant. And therefore, if you don't have insulin in your stream, in your bloodstream, all the fat and all the nutrition you eat, it will not get into your body to be saved. And off it goes. And that's what I think was happening. He was talking, Dr. Bickman, about the people who have type 1 diabetes, a horrible disease. And it's type 1 diabetes, they'll just give themselves too little and they'll stay thin. Because, a lot of times when people start getting on medications, they start adding that insulin and their weight goes right up. So that's a problem. Also, Dr. Bickman was talking about if you have low energy. So let's say you're starving yourself, or I'll go vegan. So you're not volume-wise starving yourself, but you're nutritionally starving yourself effectually. Well, your insulin will still be up because now insulin's out there trying to get some work done. Insulin's going to be out there anyway. It's going to be really inflamed. So it was really interesting to watch Dr. Bickman present these things. And then here, I'll show you this one. Here, Dr. Bickman showing us macronutrients and affecting insulin. And you can see, and of course, he says down here, not all carbs are equal. But you can see when you have carbs, look at this line go straight up. This line in the middle here, see this line right here, it goes up the one with the purple one on the top. And then if you look at the fat, that's that lower blue line stays really low on the insulin response. So that's why it works so well for us. Then he gave a nice little table here about a low-fat diet, a Mediterranean diet, and a low-carb diet. And he talked about the different calories and fat percentages, right? And as he goes through and gives all of it, you can see here, a low-fat diet with 30% fat, low calorie, has the worst glucose, the worst insulin, and insulin resistance. Whereas a low-carb diet, no calorie limit, eat what you want, but keep the carbs down low, right? And he said they started it at 20 grams a day, but they found people kept losing so much weight that they go ahead and upped it to 120 just so it wouldn't look so bad. So let's go back to the graph, right? There's that graph. And you see right away in the carb, it went way high. So what they did, they let people have some more carbs in the low carb group, just so it wouldn't look so bad in their numbers. So it was kind of interesting. Oh yeah, here it is: low fat, Mediterranean, and low carb. Not the other chart, but what you see here is this. You see the low carb. I mean, that weight was just falling down in the first 2 months, right? But then where he has that arrow, that's when they said, you can go from 20 grams to 120. Now, what's important there, right, is to note that when we decide to up our carbs, this is going to be what happens to us too. We'll have that initial big loss, and those carbs are creeping in, and there you go. At 24 months, the trajectory you were on, I don't know, you probably would have lost 20 pounds, maybe 18 pounds. But what they did is they truncated it here, and then they went up to 120 grams. So it was at 20 to 120, right? So they went up 6-fold just so it would be competitive with the Mediterranean and low-fat diet. I think that's pretty interesting. So then he came up with this slide, the hypercaloric. All low-energy diets are low-insulin diets. So what he was saying is whenever you go low-calorie, right, low energy, not calories, go low energy, that's going to be a problem. So what he wanted to do was he wanted to reverse it and instead test with a weight gain diet. So in other words, how hard is it to gain weight on these different diets? A hypercaloric low-fat diet, a hypercaloric low-carb diet, right? But no, putting the caloric theory and the endocrine theory head to head to see which one creates the most weight. And when he said that, that was such an eye-opener to really think about it that way, to really think that we've never gone into this to say, hey, let's see if we can make people fat. What would you make people fattest on? Well, the standard American diet, my friends. I don't think they want to try that. I don't think they want to do that, because in doing that, they are going to unleash a lot of problems, I think. So a low-fat diet, 5,800 calories, carbs 64% of the diet. Can you imagine that? 5,800 calories, and 64% of that, well, let's go 6,000, make them, so you get 3,600 calories in carbs. Divide that 36 by 4, right? I mean, you're going to be getting a lot of grams of carbs. Look how they kept the fat, 22% in this one. Over here, 72% low carb. Kept the protein here at 14, and here the low carb at 22, right? I think that's why people keep trying to say, hey, it's a high protein diet, and they're wrong. It's not. It's just a moderate protein diet. But Dr. Bikman, if you get a chance to go out and see this, by all means, do it. By all, they did some testing on with that, and they did a body weight circumference, and the low carb diet, they gained a little bit of weight, but they lost 3 centimeters. Isn't that amazing? You gain weight but lose size. I think they gain muscle weight. So they got, how big are your fat cells? I think that's what he really came into, and he said, hey, you can do the ADPOIR, your insulin times your free fatty acids. So remember, my insulin was about 6. So I'd have to multiply my insulin 6 times the free fatty acid. I'm going to have to find that calculator. And if I can get my my provider to provide me that information in my next blood work. So blood work's going to be in a week and a half. And I have been eating the fat. I have been diligent. So my latest, greatest, most fun way to consume fat is I take egg yolks, raw egg yolks, and I melt butter, and I let it cool down, and I mix the butter into the egg yolks, and I really like it, and it really works. How would you say it? The flavor is amazing. And the other thing I did is I took some rendered fat from cooking hamburgers. So the wife cooked up some wonderful hamburgers, and she's joining me kind of, sort of. She's really supportive of me now. And what she does is she cooked up some onions in with the hamburger patties, and she kind of got them pretty well cooked. Well, now I've got onion flavored tallow, basically. And I just grabbed a spoon of that and ate that. So now I'm going to mix that with the egg yolks. That will be good. And that's going to give me some great fat, great nutrition, because I won't be damaging any of the nutrition in the egg yolk. And then I'm going to be getting all that stearic acid from the tallow. And anyway, it's really good. And I'm thinking I'm really up in my fat. And I can tell that in like I'm getting more definition in my old man face, and on my arms. You won't be able to tell it here, but I'm getting some like in my forearm here. I got a little bit of dancing muscle there. I mean, it ain't great. I'm no bodybuilder, but for a guy who's going to turn 62, I can't quite do it this hand. But getting leaner in the neck area. You can almost see that I have tendons in my neck. Well, I don't know. We're going to see it, but this is what I anticipate will happen with my my blood work, and that blood work is going to be performed right before I go on vacation on the 19th. So on the 19th, they're gonna stick me, and I'm gonna make sure I go into my blood test fasted. I went to the VA one time, did the blood work. They told me I didn't need to be fasted, and then when they did my glucose was like, well, a little bit over 100. I was, well, yeah, I just ate a meal. And then I tell them, hey, I'll fast, but your blood test is until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I told the technicians, and your question is what? What are you trying to say? Are you thinking I can't go from morning to 1 in the afternoon without eating? I know I'm big and fat. Come on, right? Well, because I've been doing low carb, keto, carnivore for the better part of 2 years now, on and off, I grant you that. I'm very capable of going a couple of days without any food. That doesn't really bother me. I definitely can miss a meal or two, or I can delay a meal or two. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll go in fasted there on the 19th. That means the blood work won't be available to me. And hello, and welcome to the stream. I hope you all have a great day. Feel free to chime in. If you want, I can always invite you in here to the stream. If you want to come on in, I'll post it right here. There you go. There's the link. And anybody wants to jump in, they can feel free to jump in. I'll share the screen with you. But yeah, so today's the 7th, 1 week. So a week and a half, I'll have my blood tests. And I won't get the results back till the 22nd. And I'll go ahead and I will go over my blood work with you. And that's going to give me pretty much, I'm going to go see, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks full carnivore and almost 3 weeks high fat full carnivore. I'm looking forward to it. I think my cholesterol is going to be shockingly high. I think my doctor's going to go, oh my gosh, statin time. I'm going to have to put statins on. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. However, I'll do the blood work. I'll keep true to this. I don't know what my weight's going to do because my weight really popped up. Of course it did, because I retained a lot of water because I ate all those bad carbs. I got the inflammation for it too. But what I'll do is I'll go in there. I'll be who I am. They'll stick me. I'll live. I'll share. And Mr. Fatty McFat will let you know how it worked out. And in the meantime, I will continue to do and use my finger sticks. You saw it earlier. I think my blood glucose was 86. And that was just after having a little bit of food. We went to commissary and I ate some processed meat, salami, Genoa salami. Pretty fatty meat, right? I bet you that's more than 80-20 fat. I had the Genoa. How do you pronounce that one? That's salami. That's how I pronounce it. Salami. So we'll keep up. I'll do it in the morning. I'll do it at night. I'll eat my eggs. I won't eat pure protein. I think that's one of my big problems I was having. I think I was eating my protein without enough fat beside it. Like earlier, the wife cooked up bacon this morning. How awesome is that? I took a piece of bacon. It was a quarter piece of bacon because we cut it in half to put it in the pan easier. Anyway, I took a quarter piece, and on that quarter piece, I put a teaspoon of butter, and then I ate that for a little snack right before I did my blood test. Of course, all that fat is not going to move the needle on my glucose. Anyhow, so keep working the fat. I'm probably getting a dozen eggs, maybe a little bit more. I mean, I just like to do it. I've been practicing it. I don't know about y'all. Can y'all tell me something? Are your eggs like fragile? Got some eggs. The wife went to a friend's house event who sells eggs, and she came home with a dozen fresh eggs, farm fresh eggs. I cracked those. The yolks stand up really well. They're thick and they're just rich and creamy, a really nice orange color, marigold orange. And then I get the ones for the Eggland's Best with all the extra stuff in them, you know what I mean? Because I want to get my omega-3s up. So I crack those, and you hit them, they just shatter. I mean, you got to pull eggshell out, right? Anyway, I had to tell the wife, I got a jug of egg white sitting in the refrigerator. And I said, don't get grossed out. I'm taking care of it. I'm going to eat it. And I do. I just scramble it up in the pan with a couple tablespoons of tallow and then put some butter on it. Because when you eat, what is it? The other day I had a dozen egg whites to eat. I ate the dozen egg whites, but I ate them in two separate servings, and I had a few tablespoons of fat with each one. So, and today, well, lo and behold, we went out and bought more butter today because I'm getting a full stick plus in a day now, no problem. We're gonna see where it leads. I don't know, but anyway, welcome. And if one of you all want to chime in here, if you want to hit a comment or come on and let me know, I'd be happy to engage with you and talk with you and see how you're doing. And hey, it's Marvin Malley. How you doing? Oh, from East Texas. Oh, wow. How's the weather out there? I hear that the weather is pretty dicey out in the Texas, Oklahoma area right now. A lot of significant tornadic activity. Marvin, I was a weather guy for 20 years in the Air Force, so I still keep up on some of that weather stuff every once in a blue moon. I hope that you're being safe out there. Um, but yeah, carnivore life is great. I'm still, like I said, I gotta work at it. I want to eventually lose at least 50 pounds. Hello, Grateful Keto from Northern Ontario. Welcome, welcome. I have been to Ontario. It was a beautiful visit I had there. And as I was telling Marvin, as an Air Force weather observer and forecaster, we really had to know the southern Canadian provinces, and I always use this mnemonic called BASMOC. Yep. British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec. And you must say Quebec. So Quebec it is. It looks like rain, hot for March. Yeah. I tell you, the El Nino stuff has really been quite a challenge. And you said East Texas, so really the bad weather right now looks like to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area right now. That's where it's looking pretty dicey. You didn't come to Ontario during the... No. I know Black Flag for Mr. Scotty P. No, I went up there. Your government invited me up there, and so I went up there, and we had a grand old time. Yes, we did. Got a chance to go to see some pretty neat places that I really liked, and I'm looking for something else here. Look up at the weather around the country and around the world. But yeah, I got to go up there, got to go to Ontario, and we got to go to the capital and a couple other places. Went into Newfoundland, not Newfoundland, excuse me, St. John Bay. Yeah, we got to go there. But no, not during the black fly season. We're trying to cut down on black fly stuff. I'm not trying to be a hater, It's not my gig. But I used to have a different way to do weather products. I want to go worldwide. I won't do it now though. Anyhow, yeah, I was a weather guy for a long time, so I keep up on that there, Marvin. So Marvin, Grateful, talk to me about your how things have been going. So maybe some of your non-scale victories. Yeah, what are some of your non-scale victories there? Smash the like button. You know the routine here. We like to let people know that I'm out there. I checked first to make sure that I wasn't stepping on anybody's live, because sometimes there are a lot of people out there doing their live things in the keto community, and I don't want to step on top of them right now. Maybe later, but not now. It looks like the most of the weather is going to be more towards the Panhandle area and up into Oklahoma there, Panhandle, maybe over Abilene, that type of area, which is a great place to not be right now. I was stationed in Abilene for a very long year of my life, a super, super long year of my life. Got a lot of turbulence out there right now. Got some weather systems out there. Oh, here, interactive map. That's the one I wanted. Okay, no problem. I can obviously cover the weather pretty well up there. But yeah, for me, I think the number one non-scale victory in the last 2 weeks will be a reduction in inflammation, particularly my right knee. So you're talking about it's ridiculously warm up here, 9 degrees Celsius, and no snow on my lawn. I guess. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm looking right now. So yeah. In fact, I'm gonna put up on screen. Maybe you can talk to me about this a little bit. Let's stop that. Now I'm gonna present share screen and aviation weather and share. All right, there's the aviation weather and inflammation. Good, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. That inflammation is no joke, and you really don't really quote unquote notice it until you're really hurting. So if we zoom in here, so British Columbia, B, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Bass, Manitoba, Ontario, and Northern Ontario. So we'll zoom in here a little bit on Northern Ontario. I don't know exactly how far north you are, but you said 9, and there it is right there. And CYER, Fort Severn Airport, Ontario, Canada. Looks like the winds are coming from the east at 15, gusts of 20 there. Got a little bit of light snow, clouds at 800. Yeah, there you go. Just above the Georgian Bay. The Georgian Bay. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I won't be able to tell unless you tell me something. I think I refer to this as a different feature. But there you go. That's what's going on weather-wise. If we wanted to see what's going on, let's go general aviation mode. I'm not going to do that. Okay, we'll go back out of there. What I want to see is I can put weather products. That's turbulence. A lot of turbulence here in the southern United States. Not a lot being reported here. And there's a haymaker of a storm coming in. Yeah, sure enough. But what I wanted to do is here. There we go. And here. And there's all the weather, and you can see it with all the weather and everything else. So pretty cool. Hey, Marv, what do you got? 2-time colon, Chem 5, BP, Med, 125. Wow. 6 foot. Wow, that's awesome. Oh, Lake Huron. I got you. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're going to take that down just a little bit. We'll talk about weather later. I'm going to talk to you all more. So I want to see what's going on here. So, wow, Marvin, that's awesome. So, carnivore last 3 years, no cancer return. That is amazing, Marvin. This is exactly the things I want to hear about and want to watch because I learn about because my mom passed away from a type of cancer from her biliary duct. And obviously that was no bueno. Didn't like that, anything to do about that. And so, all things cancer matter to me. And I'm just learning about iodine. Now, I don't know if my computer telling me it didn't find anything wrong with my computer. I don't know how much do you all know about iodine. Have you all been tracking the iodine discussion that they have in and around, out and about on this? I don't know. I'm not fully up on the whole iodine thing, but I've been learning more about it. And there's a lot to learn about iodine and how that is impacting people's health, particularly women's health. Have you dealt with much with that there, Grateful Keto? And I apologize if I don't call you by your given first name. I see your handle, and I'm trying to pick up on all the names for all the people in the different carnivore groups. And that's all I know. So it's on, but you said Lake Huron, just above Lake Huron. And if I look down and pull it just above Lake Huron, right here. Oh, I see, right in that area here. Yeah, it is pretty doggone warm. That's for sure. Oh, wow. And for you, Marvin, whatever, all that turbulence is way over here. And like I said, Dallas, Fort Worth, they have some moderate turbulence, moderate to almost severe turbulence. So pretty breezy out there. So you take 6 drops of Lugol daily. I've just started. I started with a couple of drops throughout the week, and now I'm up to daily, and I worked up to 4 drops because I was watching the iodine doctor Brownstein, listening to him, and he was speaking with Dr. Barry. Pretty interesting stuff. So I've been reading into that. Yeah, there you go. We'll see if it helps. I don't know. I don't know, but from everything I've been listening to and reading up on, I mean, seems like that iodine is pretty important. And I was looking for, because I have a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and I was wondering if I had that, and I had low T, and I was wondering if there was an axis. So I went back and pulled up all my military, not my military, but my retiree blood tests to find out that I've had some pretty, I wouldn't say low, but they were at the bottom of the reference range. And I don't know, one of those doctors might find that important, but I don't know. Marvin says, cancer doctor never say anything about diet because cause cancer. Yes. Isn't that the truth? And Jeremy, another member of our community, he had up a video here recently, a little short snippet, and he put sugar, but he put it in a biohazard bag. So he has a biohazard label on his sugar bag, and it's keeping him from getting into it, when those weak moments come. Hats off to him. And I've been listening a lot to people who have cancer, a couple different people who have been in the Homestead How carries a broadcast. One of the gentlemen there, he's been dealing with stage 4 cancer now for quite a while and still getting treated, right? And using this wonderful way of considering medicating through food. I think it's amazing. Apparently, eating meat and lifting everything raises test. Yes, it can, but mine was tested. I was really low, so I went with the supplement on it, like a Fortesta. It's a gel, and that brought it up and everything. But I had to be honest, I didn't like it. It made me more aggressive, this, that, and other. And I thought, wait a minute, I'm putting all this on. And well, anyhow, I decided to go off it. I went off of it. And that's doing the keto, carnivore keto. And lo and behold, my numbers came back up and are in the normal reference range now. I haven't gotten to lifting weights yet. I'm hopeful. You have stage 3 colon cancer. Okay, Marvin. I get it. Okay. I feel for you, brother. But you said now you have 3 years, right? And when I remember you said, let me bring it back up. Connor, no cancer return for 3 years. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I hope that the documentary that Carrie and company are making. I hope they interview you. I hope you can be, for lack of a better word, that the poster model for what this way of eating does. There's so many people that want to throw cold water on it. All those people making money from medication, I think, right? The medication people, and I'm gonna move this around a little bit, see if I can get a little bit. Nah, we'll go right to that. Okay, sorry for playing around there, but getting people on like Lindy and Todd, and of course uh, Bill Knott is one thing because of the sheer volume of weight, right, and that they're losing. But also getting in the people who have serious medical um, conditions that are being treated. I mean, documented conditions that you can't sit there and say, well, the medication and the chemo are winning the battle. That's just not how it is. Well, I don't know how well our economy is doing anyway, but I think the challenge really would be is where would everybody get their quality fats from? I mean, from what I hear, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're grateful, but um, a lot of our commercially available big box store meat is nutritionally challenging because of the inordinate amount of soy in the food chain for uh, the pork, chicken, and beef industry. On top of that, then you have all the other chemicals, and you have uh, all the immunizations, and there's a lot of things going on in the food chain, let alone the glyphosates that are all in all soil, or the um, uh, microplastics, right? I mean, it's really, really difficult right now. Really, really difficult. But wow, I mean, if you think about in 100 years ago, the mortality from things like cancer was, well, if you got it, probably bad, but the what is it? The rate of incidence was so low, like pancreatic cancers and uterine cancers, and all those things were really low, even if they were ignorant of a portion of them, really low. But and of course now it's so high. But the amount of fat they ate and all the natural foods they ate, if you take out the people who got those things, and if you took out infant mortality, people lived a lot longer and a lot stronger. I'm not saying it's better, but definitely stronger. You're in a rural area? Oh, good. That's good. I just bought my first cow. Well, I bought a calf. Friend of ours at church, they have a farm. And on their farm, they had a cow. Yeah, they had cows and chickens and ducks and sheep. And they also have what are llamas. They have llamas. They have llama mama. They have llamas, and they have all these different things. They do therapy. They do equine therapy out there, and they do therapy with kids. But also, they are starting to sell off some of this stuff on another part of their operation. And so I went and talked to the guy, and he made for me what I think is a good deal. I'm going to end up pretty much getting my meat delivered to me, packaged and frozen, at $3.30 a pound. And so I'm buying half a cow. It's a small cow. It's not a great, big, huge cow. But I think the hanging weight to be around 550 to 600 pounds. So 400 and something pounds I'm buying, and $3 something a pound. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be good to have that type of meat. Yep, yep. Yeah, that's true. That's right. It was bad. Bad. Yeah, it's a great deal. I mean, and I know the grower. I know where he's growing. He said if I want to, I can come pick it out. I can name it. I can feed it. And I was like, nah, that's a little too much. I don't want to know Daisy the cow that well when I start to eat Daisy the cow. I'd rather that be an anonymous type of relationship. But what I am going to do, and this is what I'm really hopeful will work, when they do the butchering, I want the fat. You don't have to throw it away. Just bag it up in 10-pound bags. And actually, I'll try to ask them so they give it to me in 5-pound bags. And then I've already done rendering before. So I will render the tallow, and I use it to make lotions, but I want to try to make soap with the tallow. I'll make my own soap. I'll make my own lotions and keep it for, cooking with my meals and put it in my air fryer to give me that goodness. So I don't always eat just butter because I eat a lot of butter. And I think I'm noticing sometimes I'm a little bloated after I eat butter. So I think my body is starting to get a little tired of the milk solids. Now I could go to ghee, and I know how to make ghee. That's not a hard thing to do. You just have to do it. Matter of fact, I may do that. I went and bought 3 pounds of butter today, and my butter cost me, for this butter I paid more for. It's about just under $4 a pound, maybe. I don't know. I wonder if I have that receipt in my pocket. If I have it in my pocket, I'll be able to know. Let's see. Yep, there's my receipt. Oops. Excuse me. You're shedding money. I didn't really mean to do that. But I got to put the glasses on, make a spectacle of myself, right? Let's see. I love the way my shopping store now itemizes all my food in groups. So let's see what we spent today. So I bought ground beef today, and I think it was a little over $3.75 a pound. Let's see. Well, about $3.70 a pound. What else did I get? Butter quarters. Oh wait, yeah, they're $4.23 each. So I'm paying $1.06 per stick of butter, and I eat a stick every day at least. I got some more eggs, of course. 18 more eggs. My eggs cost me $3.75. That's not bad. Yep. So looking forward to it. But maybe I'll try to make some ghee. That'd be great. Oh, you love butter too? Yes on the bread comment. And I've done it with popcorn too. The wife loves popcorn, and she will make her popcorn, and she will English as a second language. Excuse me. What she'll do is she will make a little bowl for me, which I don't eat. But I know I'll have a little bite here and there. Popcorn's not the worst thing we've ever had in our lives, right? So I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to zoom this in just a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. And then I have my wife's picture there on the wall. She painted that, make my office just a little better, a little brighter. I'm going to take down this compensation too here. There we go. That'll work out pretty well. But yeah, put the butter in the pan. But I still, like bread during COVID, I'd make my own bread because I'm bored. It's working. So working from the old working from, I gotta figure out where I'm at. Thank you. Working from home, right? And so I would make up a loaf of bread and let it cool on the counter, and then I'd eat a whole stick of bread on three slices. I could eat a pound of butter on a loaf of bread. Man, I love that butter. I love that butter. Now, the problem was the bread wasn't loving me back. And I read somewhere some studies they did that said, if you're going to eat your fat with protein. If you're going to eat carbs, don't eat them with fats, right? Because that's how the storage mechanism is I don't know, multiplied, exacerbated, almost some big word like that. Anyhow, welcome, and hey, I appreciate you coming in and sharing some time with me. We're going to keep going here for a while until I run out of steam, and that's normally about 2 hours. You are not obligated to remain here. I've got the weather chart up for the last person who just showed up because we're talking to our friend down in Texas, there, Marvin, and there's a little bit of bad weather out in Texas, but then the Dallas Fort Worth area, it looks like it's moving more towards central Arkansas. And then there's more weather up there in Kansas going into Missouri. Hey, Laura, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, I know what you mean there. Good to see you. How you been doing? Hey, you know what? I appreciate you, Laura. The other day, I was talking about the old guitar, and I went ahead and went and looked for a couple, things on the net, and found a couple things, and started to pluck a little bit. Nothing that I put online, but what do they call it? Noodling. I was noodling around, but I've been spending some time earlier. I was talking about a recent video that Dr. Ben Bickman put up about fat and why it matters. I don't know what's going to happen here. Yeah, it was his fat, why it matters, and what to do about it with Ben Bickman as part of the Metabolic Health Summit. It's out there on the old YouTubes. If you go back in time on this, I show a good amount of it. But Dr. Ben Bickman, he's an amazing source of information. But yeah, I've been really focusing on my fat, this past couple of days, and really working on trying to ensure that I'm getting adequate fat in my diet, especially when I eat meat, because I think I was messing myself up. Yeah. Ben Bickman, he is amazing. I have been watching him for a year. He is so, what's the word to say? He's authentic. He knows his stuff. I love the way you'll know the wheels are moving in his head to tell a person that maybe he doesn't agree with their viewpoint, but he won't put them down. He won't do any of that. So yeah, and he's so gracious. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Very, very gracious. And very intelligent guy. And I'm blown away by him. Probably want to wet my whistle. I'm having tea. I love hot tea, and I'm going to drink hot tea, carnivore or not. But it's getting me to drink less coffee. I'm down to about 1 cup, which is pretty amazing for me. So what have you all been working on? I know we were talking here earlier. Marvin's talking about what he was doing and some of the benefits he's been realizing from doing this way of eating. And Laura, how about yourself? Have you been back on the bus? Do you stay on the bus? I really can't remember, because I was talking with somebody, and they had talked about having had a real struggle here of late, and I was really feeling for them, because it's amazing in our community. Everybody be all supportive, and like Carnivore Kip. I love to watch Carnivore Kip videos, and I love his authenticity and his honesty, and how he shares things. And I think a lot of people struggle with a lot of different things, and that there's no real kumbaya panacea that is making everybody just feel fantastic, and that they never have bad days. That is not true. And so anyway, I thought that looking for this, because I want to say, yeah, the minimalist carnivore, right, had a rough patch, So I really like hearing when people talk about the challenges they have with just general life. I mean, listen to Marvin talk about his cancer and how it had been, reoccurring, stage 3 colon cancer. and he's keeping it at bay with this way of eating. Grateful Keto is talking about what would happen to the economy if everybody ate this way. If half the people ate this way, well, I guess all the what ifing in the world won't really help us. I mean, to be honest, when the global pandemic came out, right? I thought it was absolutely astounding that they had to tell people to wash their hands. Weren't you doing that already? Come on. You've been doing okay? Just okay? All right. Well, I'm glad. Okay is good. I keep telling people sometimes people want to hear that you're dancing in the street. I can't do dancing in the street every day. Just can't do it. Oh, okay, Diane. We may stumble, but our conviction of this way of eating helps us. Yeah, it does. I think it's the conviction because, like you were saying earlier, Diane, about the inflammation. It's amazing as you listen to people tell their story. There's so much discussion about feeling the relief from inflammation, and some people didn't even realize how inflamed they were and how they didn't feel great. But now that it's gone, they go, "Wow, this is great!" Right? So you got the inflammation, brain fog, outlook on life, the mental acuity, the excitement. I still postulate or proffer that that's all due to the stearic acid, because stearic acid goes right to the mitochondria and really jazzes up the mitochondria. And stearic acid is found in huge quantities or large quantities, relatively speaking, to what else is found in butter and beef ruminant type meat. So yeah, you feel better because you're putting in the right fuel. And then you have all the epigenetic things. So that's awesome. And now that I'm discovering iodine, Laura, have you done much of the research or reading into iodine? I know that Diane was talking about doing Lugol's, and I've started with Lugol's. I've had it for a while. I remember when I was a kid. You remember? Well, I don't know how old anybody is. I don't know how to say it, but we used to use mercurochrome on all your cuts, and you hated it because it stung. And just today, I hear they were treating people with iodine vapor. What do you call that when you have to go for an inhaler, right? Iodine as an inhaler and hydrogen peroxide. The hydrogen peroxide one during the global pandemic. So it's amazing. It's amazing. But to get back to what you were saying there, pardon me for hitting the mic. What you were saying there, Diane, we just stumble. But now that we know, it's hard to reconcile. I know what I can do that for some complex reason brings me to a place of feeling better. I know what I can do. I've got personal experience with it. You just can't stay away from it. But also, I come back for the community. That's what I do. I just absolutely love it. Yeah, mercurochrome. Haven't heard that. We called it probably, unfortunately, we called it monkey blood. I don't know why. I just ordered Lugol's after seeing it. Yep. You saw that interview with Dr. Brownstein and Barry, and I have been watching and listening to that. And I have been dabbling, and I like to eat sardines, but I just forget I have them. I just forget to eat them on a regular basis, like Dr. Boz's 3-day sardine fast. I don't know. I like sardines, but about 3 days of them like that. I don't know. But the iodine, and I just talked to my wife, and she was like, "Yeah, I think if you think I should do that," and I was like, "Well, we did fight the battle with fibroids, and it could be some." Her grandmother was had a goiter, and when they did the operation to remove it, she passed in surgery. So, that's in her That's in her family history, so we don't want to discount any of that. We're going to see. We're going to see what we do. All right, all right, all right, all right. Man. So anyway, you just ordered the drops, and what do you think you're going to do for a treatment plan? I put them in like in the morning time when I first get up. I like to get some water from the fridge, filtered water, and drop a drop or two in that, and take it with my daily electrolytes. I have those keto chow drops electrolytes, so I'll do that. But I added some more, like into a cup of hot tea. I can't tell it, so I think I'm gonna. I only have the 2%. I will do. Which one did you get? 2% or 5% on the Lugol's? And Diane, which one do you take? The 2% or 5%? Just wondering. What do you call it? Curious minds. Oh, look at that! I can start to see on the side of my head. On the side. Look at that. Look at that. Get a little definition, a little shadowing for that steel plate they put in my head. I'm only kidding. I don't have a steel plate. I just have a great big fat forehead. What you got there, Marvin? Infection L3, L4. Oh, L3, L4 operated back 4 months. A 9-hour antibiotic and rib. That's awesome. Wow. Well, that's a great part, Marvin, on the colonoscopy. Again, congratulations. Congratulations. Infection L3, L4, that is no bueno, because that's going to really impact your legs, right? Yep. I have a pretty decent understanding of the anatomy and physiology of the spine, as mine is pretty jacked up. And I had a chance, you can't really see, I don't think you can see it here, but they took all the muscles out of my neck on this side. So it kind of looks like I have a hollow here. They took some muscles out because I had thoracic outlet syndrome, and they took the muscles out. And in that whole process, I became acutely aware of the anatomy and physiology of the human spine and what goes on. And I have some problems in L4, well, L3, L4, L5, L6, S1, the whole complex. And being heavy didn't help. It didn't help. That's another reason why I have to get lighter and less visceral fat. Diane, have you gone and investigated vitamin D3? Oh yeah, I sure do. Oh, you have 2%. I have a lot of vitamin D experience. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Stand by. I don't know. Yeah, right here. Okay, so you can get that vitamin D3 in a microtonized form, a little bottle, liquid. And what I did is I got one of these. This is it's like a steamer, right? I don't know if it's going to work. I haven't used it in a while. Let's see. Let's see what I got to. Yeah. So you pull the little thing down, it turns the light and charges. And then if I have anything in here, right, I can hit a button and it will mist. And I was actually misting the vitamin D and breathing in through my nose, because the receptors in the sinuses are so much more sensitive than if you take it orally, even under the tongue. And so a couple websites I went to. So I was doing the vitamin D that way, and I got my vitamin D up to around 60, right? But I stopped and I did all sorts of other things. I lost interest. And my last screening last September, my D3 was down to 27, below the min. So that's what it means. I've been dosing with about anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 units a day, 6 days a week now for the last month. So when I get my test done in 2 weeks, I should be back up. All right, Laura says I ordered the 5%. Okay, well, you have to use less then. I have the 2%. I have to use a little bit more, but it's you can taste it you'll taste it if you put too much in. So yeah, figure it out. Your D3 700. Oh, okay. Now the K2. Now I eat a lot of egg yolks now, so I'm not so worried about the K aspect of it, but I have some K2. But my D3, I'm probably doing 5 to 6,000 units a day. Yep. Oh, 7,000. I get it. I get it. Okay. I get you. Hey, Diane, did you notice a difference because you're doing the D3? Because you're way up north. You have got to supplement, I bet. Yeah. Oh, you're doing too? Well, yes. Yeah. K2 can do some other things. We got to be a little bit careful, I think. Yeah. 27. No bueno. No bueno. I think they say that subcutaneous fat, adipose tissue, excessive, like fat people, we have less of an ability to process. So we have to eat more till we get leaner, so then we can do it naturally in the natural sunlight way. But since you don't get much sunlight, particularly in winter at your latitude, you've got to supplement. Now I'm over here in northern Alabama, and that I can get enough sun, and I like to be in the sun, so I don't mind that at all. But that means that now I'm taking an active and fully engaged approach to my fat intake, my iodine intake, and of course some K2, but also and my D3. And there's one other thing. I'm decreasing my coffee, keeping the protein. So I'm pretty engaged in multiple fronts and multiple things. Because what I'm thinking is, from correct me if I'm wrong. You guys probably know much more than I do, but I'm gonna take the weather off there for now. The hormones are so important in all of what we're doing, right? And fat may be fat's a huge hormone signaling thing, but vitamin D is actually a hormone. It's not a vitamin. They just called it vitamin D because it came after they discovered vitamin C. So it's really a hormone or hormone family. So I'm really focused on the hormone stuff to get myself hormonally healthy before I can become, thinner. All right. Diane says we tested D3. Oh, wow. Congratulations, 400. Now I understand they want us to be probably 165, but hey, if it doesn't bother you, do it. Do it. Long as are water soluble versus fat, so you won't do damage. Oh, you're right. But I don't know. My vitamin D is an oil, so I don't think it's a fat soluble one. I don't know. To be honest, I hadn't really made sure it was in a lipid format, but I just know that the vitamin D3 is real important. So I'm gonna work on it. And if I can get up to 165, I'll try to leave it right there. Hey, Marvin, thanks for coming in. You take care. I really appreciate you dropping in earlier and giving the stream a little love and letting us know what's going on. I'll remember that, Marvin. I'll be able to check up on you. I hope that as you progress forward here, that you continue to get good results. And I hope that infection in your back gets better quick, because there can't be any fun on top of everything else that you're dealing with. All right, my friend, you be safe out there and you enjoy yourself, and make sure that you let people know how you're doing. All right. Take care now. Take care. Bye-bye. But yeah, the whole idea with making sure that we take care of first things first, and of course, then you have sleep. Sleep's so important, right? Laura says here, low fat. Stored in fat. Yeah. Got you. It's kind of like what they say when you start losing a lot of weight and you start eating right, that you might end up flushing toxins, because I guess the body when it senses a toxin, it says, I don't know what to do. It wraps it in fat and stores it, so it's like a safe house. You start rapidly losing that fat, and all of a sudden these toxins get released into your bloodstream, and it can make you feel pretty lousy. Which also brings me up to the idea of what I learned about the whole thing with iodine, and that the iodine, if you don't have enough of it, bromine will will jump into the transport mechanism with you got. I guess they say you have to have two uh, uh, chloride two chloride molecules in with the two hopefully iodine, and then that you would the magic would happen and the transport would happen and there would be some ATP energy created and things would happen. But if you don't have one, a bromine will get in there, and bromine is all around us. And so now we have cells with bromine, and the cells don't want the bromine, and they're trying to wall it off and everything like that. So it's like a double whammy. But if you can get the iodine in, then the transfer will happen and the bromine is taken out and excreted out. That's good, right? Yeah. Sleep's a tough problem. So wake up at night aching. Okay, are you aching? Are you aching from cramps, Diana? What's the aching from? Is it just a general overall aching, or is it? And have you had a rapid weight loss? Questions. And they say the iodine is supposed to help a little bit with the sleep. The fat should help, and hell, when are you taking your vitamin D? I had read that vitamin D shouldn't be taken, but in the morning time. They shouldn't take it. No vitamin D should really be added after lunch. That's what I read. I don't know. I have serious odor fat soluble vitamin A. Oh yeah. I get that. I know as a kid, my mom had the most wonderful stuff in the cabinet. It was sugar-coated or candy-coated pills. And I'm a sugar addict. And I went in there one day and I grabbed a handful of little things and sucked on them and didn't spit them out, I reckon, or did. I can't remember if I spit them out or not. Right? Well, not too long after that, I mean, like hours later, I started drooling. Lots of drooling. My parents looked at me like, what's wrong with that kid? By that nighttime, I was drooling big coffee cans of saliva, and my tongue is swollen to where it didn't fit in my mouth. And we had to go to the doctor. And the doctor told my parents and asked me, now, there's only two things that we know of that could cause this condition. One of them is this super rare one in millions of people, or did you take a bunch of vitamin pills? No vitamin. Because I'm a kid, I won't lie. And they knew then probably what the truth was. And it was a better part of 4 or 5 days before my tongue, 6 days before my tongue shrunk back down to somewhat normal. And yeah, that was a tough time. Had to drink a lot of hot Jello and ate ice cream. That's all I could really eat for about a week. I wonder if I didn't cause some scarring somewhere with that. I don't know, was it vitamin A or vitamin or the iron? I don't know. I don't remember what it was. But I have here in my hands a form to go to the National Records Archive to ask for my medical records because my dad was in the military and I went to a military hospital. So I might have it in my records. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. But other than that, what else y'all got planned for your weekend? I mean, today is Thursday. Are we got big keto or carnivore weekends planned? Are we going and doing things, or we going places? I know that I'm not anything planned. Might go do something looking at some land, but and daylight savings time. I thought we were done with daylight savings time. What happened with that? What happened with daylight savings time? I thought we were done with that, but I guess we're springing forward this Saturday night. Let's not forget that. Laura, remember the orange flavored baby aspirin? Oh yeah, yeah. Huh. You're driving into New York, New York City. What brings you to New York, and what part of New York? I wonder what the weather's going to be like for you on the way there. Looks like it'll be pretty yucky weather, perhaps by that time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but that's a long drive, right? Or you take like I-95 all the way up? And hopefully this will lessen with time. 5 months carnivore. Okay. Okay, so the pain, this discomfort sleeping at night, I mean, is it muscular? Is it in your skeletal? Is it I watched a TED talk on fascia and how the fascia of your body is everywhere like a leotard, and sometimes a pain over here in this shoulder, you might feel it here, but it might be from something over here that got the fascia kind of all turned up and causing that inflammation. So I don't know. That's gotta be maddening. Gotta be maddening for you, particularly when it interrupts your sleep, because then your cortisol is going to be up. If your cortisol is up, that means your insulin's going to be up. That's tough. North of New York City to my folks. Oh, okay. Work on the house selling. Okay. Yeah, I actually went to New York. I had a great aunt who lived in New York, but she lived in I keep wanting to say it was like Schenectady, but I can't be positive about that. But what I do know is I was terrified driving out in that general area because of the how dark Western. I can't remember Elmira Corning. I remember driving through Elmira Corning, but it was so gosh darn scary out in Western New York because all the trees were really tall and really dark, no lights. It was like I told my wife, "This is where Freddy Krueger lives. We can't stop. We're not stopping." Silly boy. Oh, okay. So it's like the pain is like a circulation process. It goes away when I take a hot bath. Ah, ah. Been some discussion about these things. And I'm going to go ahead and change out this doohickey. Whoop, there we go. And I'm going to go over to here to my Amazon. So I go to. So, have you been listening and watching Bill Nye in Alaska, Diane? Just wondering. While I try to pick up my order list, because I just bought something for my daddy. Right here. Yep. And I am going to share the screen. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to share a screen and I'm going to share my Amazon. No information on there. Yeah, we're good. All right. This here is a vibration plate, right? I call the Life Pro. Life Pro Compact Vibration Plate Exercise Machine. Mini full body vibration platform exercise machine for a lymphatic drainage with acupressure nodes. Burn calories, help alleviate back and joint pain. $77. And I sent it to my daddy, who is 89, and he's gotten pretty sedentary in his ways and recently. And so he got it and he used it this week. And he said it gave him a tremendous workout of his legs. And you can even see it has the little attachment down here, the little strap. You can hook it on the side and so you can do arm things and stuff like that, right? So you can work out. But the thing is, I was thinking about lymphatic drainage. If you've been losing a good amount of weight, and I didn't ask, Laura, how much you exercise, but your lymphatic system will not, oh boy, I bet you the dogs are there. But your lymphatic system, get back on track. Get back on track, Scotty. Your lymphatic system won't drain, and you'll actually get some blockages. And so, real important to have motion because that's how the lymph moves in your body through the lymphatic system. And Bill Knott was having some problems, and he had some lump, had a lump, and he had some pain. And I think Dr. Chafee had him do some things like people. I remember talking to him about the lymphatic thing. I'm not going to say he took mine, but someone else, right? But oh, good. I'm glad. I ordered from his affiliate link, by the way. Yes, I did because I'm a good boy. But the idea is, I have read where they do autopsies on people, then they open them up. There'll be large deposits of a almost like butter. Well, what most people don't know. Oh yes, you got the vibration plate. Good. But when you eat, the only way, I'm going to say the only way, because I'm 99% sure in this, Dr. Bickman could clarify, but the only way that fat gets into your body, into your system, is through the lacteal in your villi. So, the little hairy hanging down things in your small intestines, the outside of them, they have a capillary network to pick up all the nutrients and stuff like that, and the bad stuff, but it picks it up. But there's down the middle is a very large a transport, like a lacteal, and that's what fat comes in. So all your dietary fat is absorbed through those lacteals in your villi, and they go across the epithelium and get transported around in your lymphatic system. And if you look at a picture of your lymphatic system, you'll see all that that you have in your gut, you have it in your neck, of course, your armpits, the breasts for women and men, I guess, all the way down almost to your feet, right? That's why your feet don't normally get that issue. They just get problems when the valves don't work. But that lymphatic system, if you don't move, the fat you ate that's in that lymphatic and lymph may not move around. Anyway, real important, and that Life Pro thing should have really helped. I know it's going to help my dad. I asked my dad about it and how he liked it. He said he really liked it. It gave him a great workout. So he says, my sister, who's his caregiver, said, Dad, just do it for a minute or two. And he went and did it for 15 minutes. So, if one's good, more is better. Male pride. Anyhow, yeah, so he's trying to do a couple 15-minute runs each day. That's cool. So Lloyd made a pot roast, a chuck pot roast. Dog got some of the fat and dripping. That's cool. That's really cool. You're keeping them drippings too. Like I said, my latest craze. I think I have to moderate a little bit on the milk solids, but my thing is to take the drippings from the hamburger pan that we cook the hamburgers, and the wife cooked some onions up in it, and I can just put a little salt on that and eat that. I can eat a tablespoon of that solidified beef fat right from the pan, and it doesn't bother me at all. Yep, he's an affiliate. That's cool. I did. Oh, well, I ordered it off from his link, so I should have got that code. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I didn't know about the code. Haven't used it enough though. All right. It's one thing at a time, right? One thing at a time. Well, I have a Vital Swing which vibrates. You lie down, put it under your ankle, put your low spine on a disc, and it swings legs side to side. Cool. Oh, okay. All right. I remember when I was a little boy, a long time ago, when I was just a little boy, a little stick figure of a boy. My mom had this thing that you would stand on like a treadmill, but it wasn't a treadmill. And it had a big old motor on the front of it, and it had a great big cloth belt, like a linen cloth belt, right? And you put that on the back and you turn it on and it would jiggle. You go, and as kids, we just thought that was the bee's knees. We just go, anyway, it didn't quite sound like that, but you get the picture. And yeah, we did that. Well, maybe there was some more validity to that than I thought. But yeah, these tools are pretty nifty. Some of these tools they come up with, but I need to actually just start doing something other than that. I need to do some resistance training. I'm just fighting it. Yeah, the jigglers. Yeah, not the gigolo, the jigglers. Yeah, and I can't imagine how painful that would have been for some people to have to be in that. I mean, if you had a bad back or something, that would just be not the thing to do. But it's amazing that you had some of these different tools and stuff, but back in the 60s, you didn't have anywhere near the obesity we have now. You go, even when I look through my dad's yearbooks, and my mom's, even mine, we had a couple of big kids. I remember I was one of the bigger guys in the school, not the tallest guy, but one of the bigger, top 5 tallest guys in my school. And I probably only weighed about 220, 225. We had a couple guys who were like 300, but they were right. But that was just a couple. Nowadays, it's pretty rough out there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think a combination of all these foods. I just watched who was it? Who is the keto carnivore guy who's all about honey and fruit? Can't remember his name at the top of my head, but I watched him talking about this, talking about all the changing and all things that I like in McDonald's. He did a short video or something on all the ingredients in McDonald's pickles, like 19 ingredients in pickles. I don't get it, but all the chemicals and the plastics and the poor eating and the sheer stress. I would have been a stressed out kid, I think, if I had to be who I am as I was back in the 70s. If I was that kid today, I would probably be homeschooled. Yeah, either off in the Merchant Marines or something, because it's too stressful for the kids these days. I don't know how they handle it. There's over sexualization of the kids. There's crazy things being taught to them, and I just don't understand how all that translates to a better world. You know what I mean? Because of the I'm trying to adjust this thing. It's making me mad. Sorry, but the idea that all these kids and what they have to go through today just to be, with the in crowd. I mean, I know that's always been an issue. There's always been an issue with the in crowd people and trying to keep people happy and understand where you are in life with everything else. I mean, I think we go through that a little bit here in the YouTube verse. I was just watching Carnivore Kip talk about his childhood and growing up and his desire to go hunting and things of that nature. But now that he's an adult, he has adult drivers, right? But I know that even within the carnivore community, there can be some stratification, some cliques, maybe. I don't know. I don't think anybody intentionally does it, but maybe it's one of those things of we naturally coalesce. I don't know, but I will say for sure. I will say for sure there was an interesting conversation about spiritual matters in one of Kip's videos here recently. Yep, you're glad your kids are 30. Never got. Yep. The indoctrination is one thing, but it's just. I mean, it is so pervasive. All the indoctrination. I mean, I guess it was always going on. But Laura, I didn't know if you've had a chance yet, Laura, and I know you're doing the roast and you might be eating, but I don't know if you saw one of Kip's more recent ones, not the one I think he did today or yesterday, but one right before that, where he talked about refocusing his life on things that are important, like his walk with God and how that walk with God resolved within his relationships of his family and his community, and how you get onto YouTube and you might feel a little bit cautious, maybe, but we're supposed to be bold, and I know you are, but that he was really, really heartfelt about trying to make sure he got first things first. And I think that was good on him, and I'm glad he did. I'm glad he will. I mean, that's just such an important aspect. We like to talk about how this quote unquote way of life is going to be like a country western song played backwards. You're going to get your children back, or you get your wife back, your car back, your dog back. All these good things happen. But um, if we're being honest, you're not getting all the things. You're getting a limited subset that were dependent on your physiological condition. But honestly, there's a relationship to get right that doesn't even cost you anything. Don't have to go any special place. You just get in your prayer closet. But it was really good to see that, and it goes all the way back to what we were talking about earlier with Diane about this community, this when we fall, when we have a moment where we fall off the quote unquote wagon, whatever. Um, this community is really, really helpful, and I'm pleasantly surprised by how in how do I say it? I want to say engaging or enabling, but how open the carnivore community is to people of faith, and that you can uh, uh, freely speak it. I mean, you think of Sean. I think he was a practicing minister at one point in time. So I think I went to school for it. So I think that's fantastic, and we don't want to ignore the spiritual aspect of uh, what what we're trying to do in improving things. Now here we were talking about the kids and things that they hopefully have avoided, but somebody's kids aren't avoiding it. Matter of fact, at church about a month or so, a little more than a month ago, our pastor mentioned, he said, he was talking about how parents have a role and responsibility with their children, and fathers and mothers and their roles in the family, and the responsibility to the children. And then he said, and now for the rest of you, and he just points to himself too, the grandparents, what are you doing? How are you engaging on this? Just because your grandma and grandpa doesn't mean, or aunt and uncle doesn't mean you don't have a responsibility. Uh, Almost like I don't want to say a fiduciary responsibility, but a responsibility. And so I think we still do. And our kids may be growing up, but they will always be our children, and we will always be wanting to protect them, and we will always be concerned about them. And that goes, as far as I'm concerned, into that eternal state. Now, will I be quote unquote concerned in an eternal situation? No, no, no. I've already surrendered all that. That's all taken care of, right? But while I'm here, I'm cognizant of it. And when we talk about getting healthy, we want to make sure that the spiritual side of everything is getting healthy too. Just getting healthy in your body is to almost, in a way, be denigrating to, if you're a person of faith, that's denigrating to God, because there's so much more. Eternity is so long, and we're here for a mere breath. And if this is your whole focus, to just be healthy and svelte, well, we might have some disconnects, and then we wonder why things might fail. Well, maybe they fail because our focus isn't where it needs to be, and that if we can get our focus spiritually, our physiological focus will follow suit. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Right? Absolutely, Lord. That's right. That is absolutely the truth, and it is not a challenge. It's not hard, but the difficulty comes in well, for me, when you've invested in your secular life, your secular world, your worldly walk, right? That's where the friction comes in. And I'm not even talking about hypocrisy and improper and focuses and stuff like that. I'm not even going there. I'm more from a perspective of while Paul said he knew what to do, but he did it not. Right. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Right. This is not the first time. God's known this for the whole time. He's not surprised by any of it. Right. But we do have an inordinate ability to take our eyes off the prize, take our eyes off of it. And when we do that, and we get rubbed up, well, I know it's only our own fault. But just because we know it happens, and just because it happens frequently, and just because God knows it and all the things that he's put in place to help us, just because we know that doesn't give us license to continue to do it, right? And I'm having to drill that in my head, I have some really good friends who belong to the Catholic Church, and they say I don't need to read the Bible. The padre, whoever the priest will tell me what I need to know. I don't have to worry about the way I conduct my life. So I need to be good, and they try to do all the good things. But when they don't, they just go and ask for forgiveness and absolution, and do their go through their process that's dictated to them, and they think that's it. That's good. And they go and they rinse and repeat. And I don't know that works. And then we wonder why we don't do well with our diet. I don't do well with our exercise program. I'm looking right at myself. I'm literally looking right at myself. But and I'm not pulling the Catholic card. I'm not slamming anybody or anything by any means. I firmly want you to believe in God. And from there, God takes care of it all. Matter of fact, I had a long conversation with my wife and some other people about this whole topic. It's all personal relationship. All we can do is live our lives accordingly, and hopefully truthfully and faithfully, and others will see it and ask the question, and so that's what that looks like. And then I have to tell people, now, when you look at me in my life and the way I live it, don't use it as the bellwether. Don't use it as the measuring stick. Please don't do that, because you're setting yourself up for failure and you're going to break my heart. No, I don't set the standard. The standard has been already set. But I think that all goes in conjunction with what we're trying to do in taking care of our bodies and in getting health and returning to health. And that's why I bring it up. I think it's an important aspect of our journey, is to consider our spiritual health in conjunction with it. So when I see videos from someone like Carnivore Kip, I really appreciate it. Now, I know I talked to JT, the Poco Moonshine family, right? And he has a very eclectic set of thoughts. And I know that he has a faith, and it's his own journey and his own walk. And he is so very kind and open to a lot of people. And a lot of people think because he's kind and he's open and he's willing to discuss and engage, that he's not a believer, and that really irks him. And I think it's a sad testament and statement for the condition of our times, that can be something that's said by someone who, I think it's amazing when someone says they profess faith and that they're a believer, and they're pointing out to all the splinters in other people's eyes. I don't have time for it. I'm not going to do it. I don't. If someone goes off the path, right? I don't have anything. I just got to keep chugging along, do my best, offer up what I can, but in a private, loving, and proper manner. And I think the same goes with what we're doing here in eating this way. A lot of people get pretty hyper, I hear, about carnivore. Oh, you can only be a carnivore if you're doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things. If you do this, you're not a carnivore, and you're not really part of our community. And the same thing happened with the keto people. And the same thing happened with the vegans, right? I think if we get so militant, we get so caught up in it, right, that we're missing the boat, and all we're doing is what do you call it? Alienating people, and that's no bueno. So with that, I've blathered on here long enough, and I need to get on a couple other things. And so with that, I'm going to watch some TV with the missus. We got into watching a sci-fi show on one of those Roku channels, whatever. So we'll probably go catch a episode or two of that, and I am going to let you have the rest of your evening to go around and chase some other things. I don't know who else is on right now. Is anybody else going doing the whole live thing? I'm gonna look real quick to see, so I can make. I did like. There's one. Meeting Wellness is up. That's great. I did see that where. Yeah, Meeting Well. The ladies are in their thing, doing the thing on with Christine Allison. That's awesome. So I encourage you, if you have a chance, to get over there to Carnivore Soldier is on also doing it. So Carnivore Soldier is in there. Meeting Wellness, Christy's in there. Robin Heron is on with the Carnivorous Grandma. There you go. A lot of people doing things. So go ahead and if you have time, go ahead and spread some love to their channels. I appreciate you coming in and spending time with me, and I'll try to get back out there, do some more, maybe tomorrow, maybe someday this weekend. I don't know. We'll just have to see where the cookie crumbles. Take care now. God bless. We'll see you around. Bye-bye. And great to meet you, Diane. Bye. Laura, take care of yourself.